Andrea, fourth round of the MX2 World Championship, sixth overall, a very solid day for you. You must be happy with your day?
Yes, I'm quite happy. In the second moto, I tried to pass Mikkel and I do one small mistake. I crashed and I lost quite a lot of time and I lost I think 3 positions. And I finished 6th, 7 for 6th overall. So it was quite a solid day. Now we train this week and we prepare for Arco.
And you've had a big strides this year compared to last year. Last year you were pretty consistent between 10th and 15th, but this year you've stepped it up a level. What's it like racing at the front pretty much every weekend? It must feel pretty good.
Yes, this year we do one step more in front. So always we fight for the almost all the motos for the top 5. So that's the goal, and we want to do better and better. And we will see in the end of the championship how it was.
Have you maybe surprised yourself a little bit this year? Because even though you were strong last year, 10 to 15, you were still quite a bit off, the top 5. So did you maybe surprise yourself a little bit this year, or is this what you expected coming into the season?
I surprised a lot in Mantova. Not all the races, not the other races. The other races was quite consistent, and it's I work for this winter, so I'm not surprised. But from Mantova, yes.
And this is your 3rd year with the SM Action team. They've been running gas the last 2 years. How's everything going with this team? You seem very comfortable.
Yes, it's like now it's after 3 years. It's like family, and we work good and we continue on this way.
And Mantova, unbelievable, special day. Just how did it feel to stand in the podium for the first time in MX2? That's what you work for?
Yes, for sure. I worked for it and was unbelievable. Especially was also at home, so it was more amazing. And for sure I worked for it, and we will try in the next GPs to do it again.
And I mean, you're only 18 years old. I actually thought you were a little bit older, but I checked your age after the podium. Still only 18, so you've got at least 5 years left in this class. So you should have a good future.
Yeah, I hope. We will see in the future.
Yeah, and obviously this team's doing amazing things for you, and I'm sure you're happy with this team. But at the end of the day, the goal must be to try and get a factory team behind you.
Yes, for sure. I'm happy with this team, but we try to get one place in one factory team, but it's early for think about it. So now we think. For the season, and we will see.
And I'm not sure if you've raced at this track before, but it's back on the calendar since 2019. Was it nice to be back at this track? What was your thoughts on it? I thought it was very different on both days.
Yeah, the track is. I like a lot the track, and was quite bumpy a lot. But yes, I like the track. I've been here when I was with. An under 50 European Championship, and I've been here. But yeah, was fun and was nice to come back here.
Brian, the best day in your life is probably just around the corner with the birth of your kid. But up until that stage, until that happens, is today maybe the best day of your life?
Yeah, for now, yes. I mean, that we're getting a baby boy in July. It's some really good motivation, and also, you see, already all year I'm riding actually quite good. Also around top 5, inside top 5. Now even on the podium. Yeah, that's amazing. It's not what we expected, but we are working hard for this. So one time it needed to come my way, like this.
And can you just talk me through your motos today? I mean, in that first moto, I was pretty much mind blown at the speed you were carrying around the corners. I mean, you were probably the quickest guy. Just can you talk me through it from your end?
I felt already yesterday, very good on the track. Also in the qualifying race, I had the best lap time. First moto also, I had the purple. It's actually a strange track. It's not sand, but also not hard. We are riding with a sand tire, but I felt really comfortable all weekend. So I guess I like this track.
And I mean, did it feel any different to be running up there at the front? Like, did you feel, wow, I'm riding really good today, or did it just feel like normal?
Actually, it felt quite normal. I guess I have a lot of times, like, the problem is the start, that I start around the 10th place, and then it's really difficult to fight your way back to the top 5, top 3. That's almost impossible. But today I had 2 good starts. Second moto a little bit not so good than the first moto, but the first moto was directly in 3rd place. I pushed hard, got to 2nd. Then I was pushing together with Prado, and you see also we made a little gap behind us. And actually I wasn't thinking, I'm up front. I was just like doing my thing and pushing and didn't think about nothing.
In the past, you have showed glimpses of what you could do. Maybe for 20 minutes you'd be right up there, but felt maybe sometimes you'd drop back, whether it was maybe tiredness or maybe lack of confidence or something like that. But today you didn't show any signs of that, and actually the last lap in the first moto, you upped the pace to keep Geiger behind you, so you must be physically in a good way as well.
Yeah, physically I feel very good actually. Already last year, but last year I had so many starts outside of the top 20, and I fight my way back up to like top 10. So I had a really good race, but when I finish 7th, 8th, 9th, that's not the results we want. I have the pace to be inside the top 5, and now now we show we can be there, and it's just going really good, and it's been difficult, but we are back, I guess, and just feels good, very good.
And you've had a lot of doubters over the year, especially when you're at Honda, people being like blah blah blah, you shouldn't have that ride, this, that and the other, so must feel pretty good, to show them that, and also show yourself that you can run it up at the front.
People never knows the insides. I broke my foot, and it took me 9 months to get back from that. And then you start riding. I went from, I changed the brand, I changed the class, and then even the MXGP class was, the speed was so high and everything. And then it's really difficult to come back. In the MXGP class, you don't have like sometimes maybe a top 10 or top 5. You need to work for this. And on that moment, this was not good for the confidence. I was always around the 20th place, and I get a little bit like disappointed in myself. And for sure on that moment I was not worth to ride there. But now I show them different, and that feels really good.
And just on the standing construct team, I don't know what that team does different than any other team and Tim Mathis, but he seems to improve every single rider he's got underneath that awning. What's it been like with that team and having them behind you? It seems like there's a very good atmosphere there.
Yeah, the team is amazing. They work so hard, and there is nothing like pressure on the shoulders from them or something. They just they are always happy, but when you do your best, it's good for them. And I think this is very good for a rider, to don't have the pressure on the shoulders and just do what you're good in and what you're capable of, and then you see the results will come.
You mentioned pressure there. You've got one podium, enjoy it today, but will this maybe add more pressure later this season because now you can do it?
The goal was to be inside the top 10 every single race. Now I was already top 10, top 5. I had it all now, podium. So next race won't be different. When we are for sure inside the top 10, the best will be inside the top 5 or even on the box. The pace is there. I know I can do it, and we will see. We will fight and push hard to get back.
It's probably early to say this, but I wouldn't want to be the Dutch team manager this year, especially if Jeffrey comes back and adds to the mix, but you're definitely knocking on the door to be there at Red Bull at the end of the year.
Yeah, that will be nice, when I can ride for my country. I always will do, but it's up to the team manager from Holland.
Dirk, we're here at round 4 of MXGP World Championship. Good day for Tom, getting the win. You must be happy with his performance today.
Yeah, he's improving every week. Today we saw him riding really well. Second heat, Iago, he put a lot in, but also he had some frustration from the first one, obviously, since he went down and crashed, lost valuable points to us. And no, Tom, he's improving. He still needs a bit more bike time, but we're getting there. Like, shouldn't forget, like he's just since beginning January on the bike and missing a couple of weeks. And no, overall development good. New bike, functional better and better. So on a good way.
You mentioned there the development of the new bike. Do you think, obviously you didn't have a full winter, do you think if he had had the full winter that would have helped the development? Because it sort of feels like he's doing it while he's racing now.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, also, like everywhere, we struggle to get parts along with worldwide same problem. And everything was a bit late, and then he got his injury, so we could not test as we wanted. And all comes together, but overall we're pretty happy.
But the first moto was really good for him. You know, he clawed some points back there.
Yeah.
So he must be happy with that. And
no,
but there's a long way to go in the championship.
I mean, if Iago does as a present like this, he still came to 9, but also was a good achievement. And yeah, it's a give and take. You know, the second one you see he's still faster, but not always.
You still must be quite calm though when it comes to the championship, because obviously he was last year, using that as an example, he was way back and he still came to second in the end, so still no time to panic in that regard, and there's a lot of racing left.
Yeah, we take week by week, and it's too early to talk about anything, like you say. I mean, of course we're aiming for the championship, but so does Yamaha with Iago, and I mean, he's hungry. He didn't get it in 20, he didn't get it last year, also due to injuries, and it's going to be a good battle, I think, the whole year.
Standing under this awning, it's a lot for one rider. Firstly, have you got an update on Jeffrey and when we might expect him back? And is there a chance we could see a fill-in? Somebody like Jeremy Sydow might be available in a few weeks, and he's impressing me.
Yeah, I mean, we would like that Jeffrey's back, but he's recovering still, and it's a bit slower than expected. I mean, it's a difficult bone again what he broke, and he's just off the crutches a bit. And yeah, now the rehab starts, let's say. But yeah, of course, the season's going on, and every week is a race. You're anticipating him back here, and we need to wait. We need to be patient. And MX2, I don't know. We will see.
And while we're waiting, Jeffrey, is there a chance of getting a fill-in MXGP? And I'm thinking Latvia might be realistic. Do you think that's realistic, seeing him back there? Still too close to call?
For him, I don't know. At the moment, I don't make any predictions. We take it week by week with him and need to see what the doctors say. Fill-in, we tried. It didn't go well, and I don't have a name on the list at the moment. I mean, the 450 is not a toy on this level lately, and we should not just put anybody on to have a bike out there, but would be nice to have it out there, yes, but give me a name.
Barami, he's back on the bike.
Yeah, but I don't think we will give it a second try. No.
And just on Jeffrey, there's obviously loads of rumours he's going to race AMA Nationals, this, that and the other. Can you just clear that up, that he's going to be back MXGP full time?
It's a lot of rumours and nothing is confirmed. And like I say, we don't know either. I would love have him back in here because this is serious, this is the team, and of course.
But obviously, while Jeffrey isn't here, it must still be nice to see the Austrian brand on top with Jorge winning.
Sure. No, it was nice today. I mean, Jorge put in a good performance. Timmy is fast, as we know, but still, the first one also, he had a mistake. And yeah, no, it's always good.
And you've got a change in roles in the team this year. Don't think too much has changed, but can you just tell me a little bit about that? And are you still going to HGP round? I don't think I've seen you at Matterley, although you could have been there.
Yeah, no, I had COVID. I was there first one, but got called off, and then the week after I was home, I test positive. So that's why I wasn't there. So no, I tried to come to every race so far. Still, what the future brings, we don't know.
And what's it like having Joel as a team manager as well? And then you with your
not so much changed. Like I said, I'm still back in Austria, and he has his role as rider trainer and now team manager. Team is the same.
Jeremy, this is your second or third GP with the Diga Procross KTM team. Feel like you've made big strides this season, and as far as pace goes, I think you should be pretty happy with riding the bike and the speed so far.
Yeah, sure. It was for sure difficult in the beginning to adapt to the bike because it's really something different that I'm used to. but yeah, this weekend here in Agueda, I think my speed was, well, I showed some really good speed. Luck was not really on my side, unfortunately, but yeah, the speed was for sure there, and I think I showed my potential again.
And in the qualifying race, running up at the front end, you were fourth for ages, and you could have even finished there if you didn't tip over. What did it feel like running at the front of MX2? Not sure you've really experienced that before. I know Vulcans were, Diga Procross, Gas, you were 8th or 9th, but weren't quite as high up as 4th. How did it feel?
Yeah, the first laps were quite special, but then I got really used to, and I think I would for sure finish on 4th because I made a little gap already, and then a little stupid tip over in the one corner cost me the 4th place. But yeah, I mean, I finished anyway 9th, which wasn't too bad for the gate today, but yeah, unfortunately had another crash today, and yeah.
Are you, like, this last 2 years you've basically haven't had any races under your belt, so to come into this season and already show this pace and run at the front, have you maybe surprised yourself a little bit just because you're a little bit rusty coming into the season race-wise?
Yeah, for sure I expected to don't show my full potential in the first races because, yeah, as you said, I missed quite a lot of racing the last 2 years. Yeah, I for sure still feel that. But yeah, this weekend I had the feeling that it's finally coming back, and yeah, unfortunately some bad luck again, but it's for me it's a positive point because I can see I can run in the top 5 in the MX2, which isn't too bad, I would say, and yeah, I hope now next weekend I will be fit again to show that again.
And what's the level like out there in the MX2 World Championship this year? Obviously you haven't got too much experience, but is it faster than what you thought? Is it about right, or what's your thoughts on the level? For me, the top 15 are very, very fast, and starts are very important.
Yeah, you have like for sure 10, 15 riders who can go in the top 5, I would say. Yeah, in Argentina there were not so many riders, but I mean the top guys were anyway there, so the speed is for sure high. I just need to get used a bit to the first laps. The guys are pushing really hard, so you really need to take care to don't let any space there for them, because otherwise they take every little chance. And yeah, they fight really for every position there. But yeah, from race to race I get more used to it, and I think I showed it also this weekend. And
obviously the last couple of years you have been injured. How important is it this year, aside from getting some pretty good results, is just to last the season, show your true potential, and then hopefully you can get a good ride for next year? But I feel like it's a very important year for you to stay fit. Yeah, for sure. I want to be consistent, staying injury free, and just top 10, being consistent in the top 10 is my goal. Yeah, yesterday I was even not happy with the 9th place. I think in Metally I would have jumped in the air for that place, so you see I think I can almost look in the top 5 already, so, and we are only in the 4th race of the season, so yeah, try to do my best, then the guys remember my name, and then hopefully get a good ride for next year. And I'm not sure if you've raced this track here before. I know it's been off the calendar since 2019. Nice to be back here. And what was your thoughts on the track? Thought it was very different from the Saturday to the Sunday because the track prep was completely different. Yeah. You decided not to rip it for the Saturday, they ripped it on the Sunday. How did you find it both days? I was racing here 2017 and 18, but yeah, anyway, some years ago. So today the track was for sure different than yesterday. They just ripped it way more deep, so we got some more ruts. But yeah, for me, I also liked it yesterday. I had really a good feeling. Yesterday it was just a bit more fast, I would say. Today it was a bit more sketchy with those braking bumps because some of them were really sharp and could have hit you. Unfortunately, one of them took me also out. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed racing here. And just an update, you're obviously with the Diga Procross team at the moment. Do you know yet how many more GPs you have with them? And once Liam comes back, I assume you'll be going back to the Raths KTM. Is it possible you might get a little bbit more support from KTM with that team? Yeah, as it looks like, Arco next weekend will be my last race for them. Then Liam is back in Kekums. That's how they told me. Yeah, I need to maybe talk a bit with KTM if there's something possible. I mean, I showed that the speed is there, and yeah, maybe they have to support me. That would be really nice. Jorge, hasn't been an unbelievable start to the season for you, and especially after Argentina, but that must make this win maybe a little bit extra special?
Well, I mean, the start of the season, I've been on the podium every single round, so I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just maybe not what we all expected, no? But it was great to get here to Portugal and get the overall. I'm very happy. It's a big relief taking this win, and hopefully I can ride a bit more loose for the next rounds. And super proud of making it happen. And let's get back to work and keep pushing.
And this track hasn't been on the MXGP calendar for 2 years now. Is it good to be back here? Obviously, a lot of Spaniards cheering you on, so that must be nice. And track was pretty rough, I thought.
Yeah, track was rough. Yesterday was a totally different track. As yesterday was more flat. They didn't rip, so I didn't see even a rut. So today was completely different. Way more ruts and kind of a bit softer in places. Way more bumpy. Total different track. So, but it was great to get back here after 2 years no racing. It's a nice track. It's a nice layout. It's close to Spain, so it's basically like a home GP, and I'm very happy to race here. I'm only 3 hours, let's say 3 hours from my hometown. So many fans come over, and it's great to see all friends and stuff. It's great.
And you touched on the track there being bumpier today. I felt Argentina was very, very fast, and you needed to hang it out. Is that maybe the one weakness you have when you're riding against somebody like Geiser and flat out, no problem?
Yeah, I mean, Geiser, he was very fast in Argentina, but also over here, he's in a very good pace, and he's a very good rider. I mean, 4 times world champion, I think, right? And it's hard to beat him. Obviously, he's in the first position in the championship, and that tells you a lot. Argentina was tough for me. I didn't feel good. The track was super fast and no lines, and like I said, I struggle a lot. So I'm happy to come back to Europe and get back to the, let's say, normal, typical tracks.
Yeah, slower tracks. Obviously, you've got a new gas model this year. What's it been like with the new bike? Has there been any difficulties, or do you feel it's near the level as your last year's bike, if not better?
Well, we're always trying to improve the Kyryu. It's pushing a lot, and we make some improvements. I think we are one step further, and I just need to get my stuff all together and ride out, let's say, a little bit better. Just make small steps, but I'm taking my time this year. I don't want to risk. I don't want to crush. I just want to be on the bike and don't make mistakes. So, I'm really taking my time to just finish the season with all races, and but we are good. Team's doing a great job.
And last question, just on the starts. I mean, last year you pretty much got every single hole shot, and the starts are still good this year. But I don't feel like you're guaranteed the starts. Do you think that's the bike setup, or is it just on you?
Well, we had to figure out a couple of things that changed from last year. But I think today, 2 hole shots, well, they put the line in a wrong place, because otherwise I had both. I start twice first. I start first in Mantova first. Start also in Matsili Basin second moto. I start also first in Argentina. So I'm the guy with the most hole shots right at the moment on race day. So I think I start quite well.
Kevin, 5th overall. Even though you did the same at Mantova, I feel like the pace and the speed was definitely better today. So you must be happy with your day.
Yeah, not only today, yesterday 1-1-3 in the sessions, so I couldn't really believe it. It was amazing and felt like it was coming easy, so yeah, it was really, really nice. Just threw it away in the first moto, took the front, and had a small soil sample on the first lap in 4th, so could be a big day, but threw it away there in the first moto, but I had like the 3rd best lap time, so I knew I was competitive for the second moto, and grabbed the whole shot, was leading there for a while. That was nice, and then Iago and Vial passed me, so finished in 3rd. And it was nice to be in the back of Tom, actually. I could stay with him, and it was nice.
And what did it feel like leading that second moto? Don't think you've led an MXGP moto before, so that must unknown territory, but it must have felt pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure, it was nice. I didn't think too much of it. I just tried to keep my focus forward. But yeah, I stiffened up a little bit when I heard that Yamaha revving behind me. But yeah, all in all, it was really good.
And in my opinion, Vial and Gertz, people can say what they want about America, but in my opinion, Vial and Gertz are the best MX2 riders in the world. So it must be pretty nice, even though they passed you, they didn't completely blast you past you and just pull away in the distance, you were able to stay there.
Yeah, like in Argentina, when I was in third in the first moto, they were already gone, so I didn't really get a feel of the pace, but here I was right in the mix, so yeah, that was nice.
And thoughts on the track? Not sure if you've raced here before, but it's been off the calendar for 2 years. Thought it was pretty good, although different. The track prep was different for both days and it got pretty rough.
Yeah, I raced here 2 times. On Saturday, today it was, not today, on Saturday it was quite hard and slippery, but today they ripped a lot deeper, and also before the motos they ripped it quite a lot. So after just 2 laps it was really rough again. But yeah, anyhow, I enjoyed it, and yeah, felt good no matter what they did to the track, to be honest.
And watching you on Saturday, I just thought you looked very, very comfortable on the bike. The corner pace, the corner speed was really good, and it just looked like you could put the bike wherever you want. Did it feel like that?
Yeah, for sure. That's what I like about this bike and the frame and the setup. I have a really good feeling in the corners, and I can really trust the bike to get the grip. So I feel like yeah, that's a strong point.
And maybe next week, if you can keep it in 2 ways, both motos, podium shouldn't be too far away.
Definitely. I've been not in the hunt, but I've been close to it last 4 GPs. So that's the goal throughout the season, to get on the podium, and then yeah, just need a little bit, not luck on my side. I just need to keep it on 2 wheels. Yeah. And
heading to Arco next week, it's going to be very different to today in Argentina. Hardpack track, is that a track you like, and are you looking forward to riding some hardpack to prepare for that next week?
Yeah, for sure. Every race this year have been quite hard and slippery, but in a different way. The Trentino is really gravel-like, so yeah, we'll see. I have good memories there from last year. So in the EMX, I grabbed my second win ever there. So looking forward to it. I think they changed the layout a bit, so we'll see how that is, and then yeah, just send it.
Lynn Valk, first 1-1 of your career here in Portugal. Just how does that feel? It must feel unbelievable, because you've obviously worked so hard to get to this point.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I had a good winter, a good team, good people behind me again. And I'm so happy, the riding is going very well, and took a good start the second moto and could go to the lead, and I could control the race because the track was not easy. They ripped very deep, and I had to be careful to not make mistakes, but I did, and I won, so I'm happy.
And just on the track, like you mentioned, they didn't rip it coming into Saturday, but they ripped it overnight. How were the track on the 2 different days? Did it ride any different?
Yeah, yesterday it was more hard. It was very more hard. Overnight they watered and ripped, so it was much more deep, and actually I only like one line, so yeah.
Did you enjoy the track though, both days? It seemed like yesterday, I don't think you rode any worse today, but I think Nancy rode better. But you must be happy with your riding in both motos?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't take any risks, but I love this track, definitely, already before I came here, so I enjoyed every lap.
And you're back with the JK Yamaha team this year after a year away. What's it been like working with the JK team again and being back on the Yamaha? It seems the bike suits you well.
Yeah, I've been there for 3 years, 1 year off because I had another opportunity. Didn't work out as I wanted it to. Luckily, they wanted to work again with me, JK Racing, so I'm super happy.
And are you also living in Italy with your brother, or how is that all working?
No, I'm just living at home, working at home. Sometimes I go to Italy and we train together, with JK Racing and with my brother Maddy. So yeah, now I'm going to home.
And it must be a very happy Valk household with Kaz winning the first DMX 125 round, and you getting the podium in the first round, and now winning this weekend. Must be a happy family?
Yeah, happy family. You know, we both got the red plate, so we will work hard to keep it that way.
And coming into the season, what were your expectations for the season? Was the title on your mind, or was it just to take it one weekend at a time and see?
No, definitely not. You know, I came into the season and we wanted to have fun again, to enjoy and to take podiums. And right now I'm leading the championship, so definitely, yeah, I'm super happy.
And now you have the red plate. Do you think maybe that adds a little bit of pressure, or will you just try and have the same mindset?
I'm not going to put any pressure on myself because I'm going to every race to enjoy and to have fun. So no pressure.
And in the new in-front calendar, they took France off and they never replaced it. What's your thoughts on that? I know a lot of girls are quite disappointed because even if you can't go to France, they would have liked the replacement round.
Yeah, it's a shame that they put the girls like this, you know. We only have 5 races and it's a world championship. So it's a shame that they also cancel France and they don't replace it for any other race, you know. Yeah, it's not nice. No.
And also, just on the level of WMX, I feel like it's in a good way. A lot of quite young girls coming up, yourself, Martine, and then you've obviously got the experience of Nancy and Courtney when she's back. So I feel like it's competitive out there.
Yeah, definitely. I think the last few years the level has been much higher. You know, every girls are riding very fast, and it's good to see.
Mikhail Harab. Obviously, coming into this season, you had one MXGP podium. You've waited a long time to get another one, and 2 come along at once, so you must be pretty pumped.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the one in Argentina felt the craziest. Everyone was so happy, I think, just because it's been so long since I was on the podium. This weekend, we could feel that we had the pace just like the previous weekend, so, I mean, we knew we would be able to get the podium if everything went well. Obviously, there's a lot of work to do in a weekend like this, so everything can happen. But we managed to stay clear of the crashes that happened in front of us, and we got a whole shot in first motor, which made it a lot easier for me. And then, yeah, just good riding and, being consistent. I mean, it's nice to be consistent, and at the same time being able to get the results. It just shows that we've got the speed for it.
Interestingly, you said there you knew after last week, you knew you had the pace for a podium. The first podium you got at Mallory Basin, you had a little bit of a lull, so I feel now you're in a better place mentally.
I'm 2 years older, you know, so I've learned a lot of things the last couple of seasons, and I was quick 2 years ago when I got my first podium, but I feel like I'm in a better position now to get results consistently. That's the main goal, because in the end it's the championship that counts. But so far we've done the best start to the season we've had ever. So I mean, we couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, last year I do feel like you had better speed sometimes in the results, but you couldn't buy a good start. This year, your starts maybe aren't still unbelievably good, but they're certainly stronger than last year.
What do you mean, man? I got a whole shot. And in Mantova as well, I would have had a whole shot if I didn't make a mistake coming into the turn. But yeah, bike is quicker, the one I've got now. Dixon Racing Team has done a very good job on the bike and all the mechanics around. So, I mean, I cannot complain. We continue to work and make the bike quicker and myself quicker. So I think we do everything we can. And it's good to see progress. I mean, obviously it would be sad to go backwards from last season. But yeah, no, we're working in the right direction, and that's all that counts.
And how has it been working with Steve Dixon and being under the DRT awning? It's been a while since he got a podium. I think the Russian Brulikov was the last guy on the podium. So
sure, when was that?
3 years ago maybe. So you're the first guy since him to put a Dixon bike on the podium.
Brulikov got a podium.
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a long time, and I think everyone's happy, and we've got a good setup going. I'm practicing back in Denmark, so the practice is mainly just me and my mechanic at home. The boys are doing what they have to do at the workshop, and they're getting the bikes ready, and everybody's good mood, and we're working really hard to get the results. You know, it doesn't come out of nothing. So, everybody's motivated, even though Steve has had some tough years, and me as well. You know, so we're working really hard, and we've got another year after this one. So, if we can finish off strong, get a good end to this season as well. I mean, next season would also be pretty good, I assume.
And can you tell me about the engine on the bike? I have heard some chat it could be a pro circuit engine, but I don't know if you can.
No, it's not a pro. No, it's not a pro circuit engine. It's done in house with the help from Cosworth. And they've put many hours into this, so it's not that something you just get, you know. No pro circuit. Just exhaust from. I don't remember the name, DVR or DV2R or something, and then just hard work from the boys in the workshop. That's basically it.
And the last few years, well, I can't remember the last time you actually lived in Denmark, because you've been in, Belgium and Holland for years.
5 years.
What's it like being back in Denmark, and do you think that's maybe helped?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I decided to, because I could stay in England if I wanted to. Steve asked me if I wanted to, but I just feel like to leave them and do their job is important, so they can focus on what they have to do. And at home, I've got a good base, many tracks around me, and the people around me is there to support me. So I think that's where I can get the best results done during the week as well. So I think just a combination of that is what works.
And I'm not sure if you've raced this track before, but it hasn't been on the calendar since 2019. Good to be back here. And what was your thoughts on the track? The prep was completely different for both days, so the track was pretty different.
Yeah, it's weird because every time, I've been here for 2 or 3 times already, but every time I come here, Saturday's one track and then Sunday is a complete different. Sometimes not even because of the rain, just because they water so much or rip. It's a little bit weird, so you've got a little bit of everything. But at the same time, it's interesting, it challenges you, and some people make some mistakes, but I avoided it this time.
In the second moto, it did look a bit trickier to pass.
Yeah.
You were stuck behind Horgmo. I do think you were maybe a little bit quicker, but just finding the spot was pretty difficult.
Yeah, I could catch up to him after I made the pass on gifting, but to make the pass is something different, and either I didn't have the lines, which was necessary, or we were just maybe a little bit too close in speed when I was following. But no doubt that I had the pace. If I would have gotten past, I would have the pace to leave a gap. But I had more at stake than he had, so I didn't want to take the risk because, who knows. So I just did what I could. Didn't manage to get the pass, but that's it.
And last question, you're on a British team. Any chance we could see you do a wildcard British Championship this year, or is that completely off the table?
We were discussing, the first round we wanted to do, but I just thought maybe it was better to take a weekend off. Might see me at the British at one of the last rounds if we've got the time and if I feel like it.
Yeah, totally. Rick, the first one of your career in the MX250 must feel pretty awesome, because that's what you work to do. So couldn't have went any better this weekend.
Yeah, just a great race. Overall everything went well from start to finish. Was really. Having the flow and just riding free as I do in training, so really happy. In Mantua I was a little bit stiff, let's say, because it was the first AMX. Had some arm pump there, and here it was just perfect. Second moto was a bit harder. The track was more made for a two-stroke, more easy for a two-stroke, because I ripped it pretty deep and there were quite some lines. But in the end, pulled off a 1-1, and it just feels great.
And it was 2 very different motos. The first moto, it looked pretty easy peasy for you, but the second moto, Tondale was there the whole race until about 2 or 3 laps to go, so you showed you were able to win under pressure as well.
Yeah, just kept trying to get flow and hitting my lines. First moto, I just was a bit lucky with the start. The front guys were in the gate. I was luckily sharp enough not to hit the gate, and just made my way up first pretty quickly, and made a nice gap and just controlled it. Used as less as possible energy as I could, so I could have enough for today, and I needed it also because Tondo was pretty close, and I really tried to not get him closer than 1 second, because then you can make a move on this track because of the long corners, and just been pushing all moto. Shows my fitness is pretty good, because I kept the lap times the whole race, and yeah, just awesome to finish a race up front and finish a race with a lot of pressure. You know, it shows I matured a lot over the winter, and just you know, shows the hard work we did.
And I'm not sure if you've ever raced at this track before, but it hasn't been on the calendar since 2019.
Yeah.
Is it nice to see it back, and did you enjoy the track?
I was here in 2016 on 125 first year. Don't really remember much of it. Probably would have been around, you know, fighting for some points. Yeah, just really enjoy riding here. I really like the crowd here. Just I really enjoy the racing. You know, they are not for a Portuguese guy or something. They just like big fights on the track, and you know, they just were cheering me on, even though I'm from Holland, and yeah, just I like that. You know, they just love racing, and I got hear them pretty well around the track, and you know, just feels great to win.
Obviously, last year you had a good season in the MX250. I know your preference probably would have been to race MX2. You obviously didn't get a ride, but you've got a ride here with Hoot and Metal. How's everything going with this team? And you must be happy with how it's all going.
Well, yeah, you know, this team is, I think, one of the best teams if you consider the program they have for the rider. They just really focus on the rider. You know, I have just been learning a lot about food, about the recovery, and just a lot of stuff, you know, to make me as fit as possible. And you know, it's here. It's like a learning curve all year long. And you know, I like this team because I think from the start of the season we can still keep on growing. You know, normally you stop a bit during the season because you are focused on racing and stuff, and you know, you just stop growing that much. And in this team, you know, there's always something to do better, and you know, I think I can just keep growing, and I hope I keep growing so I can end up in MX2 next year, and you know, be up there when it starts next season.
And you're also getting coached by Jorge Prado. I think he's a very, very good coach in this paddock. Have you ever had coaching like that in the past, and maybe working with him, is he bringing you on to maybe a next level?
You know, I had coaches before, but never this intensive, let's say. Also, you know, stuff, the little things. You know, he thinks about everything. He helps me, and you know, you got to do something back, of course. You know, he always says, the energy you put in, I give back. So the more energy I give, he gives as well. And you know, I think he's one of the best trainers if you consider you know, the close-up stuff, because you know, he's also really you know, motivated and like emotionally attached to helping me win. You know, so if I crash or something, and I think he feels even worse than I will do. So you know, that shows just his heart for the sport, you know, and yeah, just really trust him about this, and then yeah, just love his mentality and his aggression also, you know, just the really motivation he has. And then you know, we switch it back. He gives me motivation and I give it back. So you know, just good. I think it's a good team.
And next weekend, I believe you're going to be racing the MX2 World Championship. What goals have you got for that? And are you in a little bit of a tricky situation, because you've obviously got the red plate in the MX250. Everything's looking good, but at the same time you want to do well in MX2, but you don't want to push over the limit and crash and ruin this championship. So a little bit of a tricky situation, but at the same time you want to be racing MX2. So.
Yeah, I don't really have any goals for next week. As long as I ride like I do in training or today, I will be fine. I'm sure I can be up there. Just doing what I do, and then we will see where I'll be at, because you know, you can't really compare it to the AMX class, because it's quite different. Just the group riders, you know, and just there to pick up some experience and just ride like I do in training, and then we see. No pressure, just having fun on the bike. That's the most important. And then if you have fun, everything will go right for you. So that's the game plan.
Stephan, we're here for the second round of the MX 250 Championship. Overall, I feel like the guys had good pace this weekend, but maybe didn't have the best of luck. But you must be happy with the speed both showed.
Yeah, globally we try to find some positive, because for sure the results are not what we were expecting. We would like to see them, on the top 5 or the podium. But our goal is really to get the 2 young riders faster, and Eddie makes some good improvement. Recently, Quentin has a very good speed, but now we really need to put all the pieces together. And first moto, they did very good start. They were 3rd and 4th and crashed. And second moto, the start was not so good, so they had to fight. But we really expect much better for the next race.
And just on Eddie J. Wade, obviously a young British talent. He's had his injury issues, let's say. What was it you spotted in him that made you decide to sign him for the season?
But for us, it was like a challenge, because for sure we know that he has a potential. He's been a champion on 85, but he had a lot of injuries recently, the last few years. So it was a bit big risky. But we feel he has a good riding and good potential, so we wanted to give him a chance. And the winter he started a bit late because he was not really ready to start early. But he's working hard. He's a good kid, so we really hope we can help him as much as possible to come back to his best level and give us a good result before the end of the season.
And just on Pergner, obviously he went straight from an 85 to a 250. When the natural step is to race a 125, what was the reason for that? And also he showed glimpses of what he could do last year in his rookie season, despite making that straight jump up.
Yeah, for sure. He did a little bit in 125, but very short in 125. And he's only 16 now, so for sure it's not so easy. MX 250 is very competitive, but now it's his second year 250, and we expect from him to be really in front. He has no excuse. He's training hard, and the bike, I think we have a competitive bike now, much better than we had last year. So now they need to be in front, and they have all what they need, training. So no, I hope for his second year in 250 at only 16, he need to be in the top 5 mostly every weekend for us to be happy.
And he's got an unbelievable style. I think he's probably one of the most exciting riders to watch in the class. So style-wise, he's got it, and with a little bit more experience and good starts, I don't see why he can't be in the top 5.
Yeah, for sure. The biggest problem for Quentin is the starts. After for the style, he's fun on the bike, he's aggressive, he's nice to watch, and we like that too. But the most important will be to be on the podium.
And in the past, the Bud Racing team have ran an MX2 GP rider. Focus has maybe shifted away from that now, but is it possible we might see, like if you develop one of these young riders and stay with the team, would you keep the door open to running a GP rider in the future?
Yeah, for sure. As a team, we don't have a really fixed program, and we adapt our program depending on our rider progression. So we keep open. And now at the moment they're ready, MX 250 to do the best results. But if they achieve the results on time, and we're open to come back to MX2. And we also go to make Supercross because we want them to keep the mind open. And in case one day in the future they can go in the US, they need to keep training Supercross. So we try open mind. And
you've got the Bud facility track. It looks like a fantastic track to prepare for coming into the season. It's maybe not quite Lommel, but it's probably not far away. And then I'm assuming there's quite a lot of hard pack tracks around there too.
Yeah, it's a good spot, and it's even more sandy than Lommel, because Lommel is becoming hard. We don't have the same competition. Lommel, the good thing is that there's a lot of competition around, but we are lucky to have Mitch Evans, Ruben Fernandez training a lot with us, and a lot of other riders. So we have a good spot. It's a big change for the riders and for us to have that. And I think maybe it's the spot of the future.
And just on young French riders, I feel like 10 years ago, some of them were maybe quite stubborn and they didn't like to ride sand. But it seems like the latest French generations understand how important it is to ride the sand. So it feels like the latest French talents are open to riding sand and improving, so that must be quite good to work with.
Yes, exactly. The French Federation also made a lot of efforts, and they bring the kids in Belgium a lot in the past. But now with the facility, we have the butt racing training camp and also Lund Plage in the north. So people understand more the importance of the sand, and when we see all the tracks in the world at the European Championship, so now even when we don't have sand, it's a soft compound and it's a rip pretty deep. So this type of riding is very important, also to work the physical at the same time. So now it's imperative for any rider who want to be good internationally to ride sand. So.
Steve Dixon here at the 4th round of the MXGP World Championship in Portugal. Before this season, it's been a while. You've got a podium. I think Burlikov was the last guy. And you've got two in a row now. So they all come together. You must be pretty happy with how this season started with Mikhail Harab.
Yeah, I mean, it's he was a good signing. I mean, he was probably the closest guy to Zach, in my sort of consideration, in his enthusiasm to want to help himself to, get the positions he's in now, and that's what you need from a rider, someone that wants to test, wants to, find any advantage he can, both in himself and with the team. So we felt this at the beginning, and which is obviously why I took him on. Actually, I was speaking both with Mikhail and Horgmo, and it was sort of Kawasaki decision, to sort of place Mikhail with us because it didn't seem to be working with F&H, and then for Horgmo to go to F&H. So it's good that they're both doing well, and but yeah, no, we're really pleased. It's a good atmosphere in the team. I trust him, and we keep very good contact, most days, and it's working with him training in Denmark. He's very motivated, has a good trainer from the Danish Federation, so that helps as well,
Yeah, he's a very hard worker from what I believe. One of his friends that I know went to his place in Lommel one year, and I think it was 30 degrees, and he done 3 motos, and then he went home and then had a gym session after that. So it must be good for you to know that he's putting the hard work in. That's something you don't need to worry about.
Yeah, I think, and what he benefits, from us is the experience of how to work with riders and how to control how much work to do. Because you can always do too much. And it's a long season. We're only at round 4, and we never really do pre-seasons because this is our pre-season, and this is why people are seeing him build, because we planned for a 20 race GP, and as you know, for the last 2 years we've done single motos. So this year we've gone back to 20 races, a lot more travel, and 2 days. So there's a lot less sort of time during the week compared to normal. So that's all part of it for whether it's a rider or mechanic. So I think hopefully I managed that well with him.
And you touched on there the Horgmo and the Harab situation there earlier. Did you have any? Was there any competition? Other teams in for Harab to sign? To me, it seems like maybe some of the factory teams have missed a trick there, because the way he started the season has been very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, no, not really. He didn't have much interest, and but yeah, I mean, I guess they could see that he'd been on Ice One and F&H, two very well funded teams. That you would say he wouldn't have wanted for anything. So, we're we are the oldest team in the paddock, but we're obviously I'm old school and I've come from a mechanic building it all up, and we're probably one of the lowest funded teams, but our concentration is on racing, and that's what we're here for. And I have enough confidence to make our own decision pathway, and I don't follow. I make my own decisions, and I think he respects that, and so does his family respect that. I try to involve the family all the time, because at the end of the day it's the fathers or the family that have normally got them to a position where they're able to go into a team in the first place. So they're a good ally to have on board.
And he's still only 19 years old. Feels like he's been around for years, but he's still got at least 4 years left in this class, so the potential's there.
Yeah, no, it's 3 years. He's 20. He's 20 now, so it's 3 years, which is when you look around, and like I said on social media the other day, it's just a shame in the UK that that we only had like 2 British people in Argentina, and you know, I feel that now Roger McGee's got 2 foreign riders. It's such a shame that to me the British riders, they seem to think they've got success before they've made it, and there doesn't seem any ambition in the UK. I don't mean this horribly, that they want to go out and achieve world championships. To me, they want to achieve a sponsored van and a little nice lifestyle, in the UK, and for the sort of capital of motocross, what it used to be, and the founding country of motocross, it's a shame, and it's nothing to do with in front or anything like that. The fact of the matter, like I said last week, you've got Swedish, Norwegian, and Danish people on the podiums like each week now, and they're small countries compared to the UK, and it's a shame, and it's something that the riders and teams need to sort of suss out in the UK, and get out back into Europe and start getting some results, and that's what needs to happen.
And just on Mikhail, obviously his pace is very, very strong. I still feel though the first 10 minutes he's maybe a bit slow to get that speed, but once he finds it, he really does catch the guys in front. So the next step, I suppose, is trying to get that intensity in the early laps. That's probably due to lack of racing though as well.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We are actually ahead of our plan, which we had for the season. We're in 3rd position in the World Championship at the moment, and we've scored in all 8 races, and each GP has been an improvement over the last one, which is our our plan. And like I said to Mikhail, the first few will be our building, and we need to build into the season. We have a period there where it's we have 5 Grand Prix in 6 weeks, so that's a lot, and you have to be prepared for that. And hopefully, as I said, we manage our season how we manage it. Other teams, do it their way. We have to work with obviously a lot less personnel, but we try to achieve the same results. Our main aim was to be able to get a bike out of the gate and be able to run with the sort of the Yamaha and the KTMs, and I feel we're sort of in that position now. And Mikhail's normally up there on the start. It's normally a mistake from him as to why or why not he's in the top 3, but now he has sort of the confidence in the bike and and in himself, and obviously he broke away and he's doing his own training regime in Denmark, which obviously I was in agreement with, because I have a lot of experience with like Zach and Tonus, where they can sort of train on their own, with Dean Ferris, Andrew McFarlane when they was in Australia. So I think now he's sort of got that monkey off his back. He has more confidence in himself in making decisions, which when you grow up and when you start owning a business, or he is his own business, how he does is how he goes forward in his World Championship career. That step of training on his own in Denmark, riding the tracks in Denmark, and having a more of a character building sort of year. He's just got a new house with his girlfriend, but we put the work in the winter. I went out to Croatia with him. He made his training program, and I followed it, I agreed it, and he has a good guy from his own town who is his training mechanic now, and he's learning. All of those things were sort of big decisions to come away from a team where it's based around Lommel. We've never had a workshop in Lommel. We've always stayed UK based, which is why I've kept my mechanics for like 15 years at a time. I believe you need to have happiness in this career, because that's what you had when you had schoolboys. It's a family sport still, and the hardest thing is when you're doing bad. It's easy for anyone when they're doing good, and it's trying to pick you up, and you need that team around you for when it's bad. I mean, fortunately it hasn't gone bad yet, but but he knows he's in a team that cares about him, and it's nice for us to be at the sharp end. we missed out a lot with Darian with his illness, which has lost us a couple of years, and also with Taylor with his injury, and also Wilson with his sort of injuries. I believed Wilson could have been up there, but it just wasn't to be. And he's winning the championship now in Australia. He's a good rider, but again aged out. So yeah, I mean we've got to be happy with where we're at now.
And lastly, 2 parts to this question. Taylor Hamill's recently got back on the bike. When can we expect him at the GPs? And secondly, Courtney Duncan is the disappointing bit of this weekend. I think it was a dislocated or broken collarbone. When can we expect her back? And bit of a bummer. It's going to a mountain task now to try and get the title, I think.
Yeah, so with Taylor, actually he went and had surgery 2 days ago. He rode Cullum and did okay, but he was getting pain. So another guy who's sort of key to our team, Ashley Kane, with his input into riders and health and stuff like that. He said Taylor needs something looking at. So he got him into a place in London, and they looked at it, and there was a screw that's slightly too long that was put in Belgium, and it actually sort of hurt his tendon, where he lost a little bit of movement on his thumb upright. That's now been, so he went over to Belgium at the beginning of this week and had the operation, and now hopefully it's only 2 to 3 weeks before he's back to hopefully Fox Hill, in the British, and we won't bring Taylor back until he can be pushed in top 10s. There's no point in rushing it. There's no need to. He can build. With Courtney, she had a practice crash on sort of lap 2. I think Van der Ven crashed there as well. Another sort of girl in first sort of warm-up practice. She was getting pain from her shoulder collarbone, so she did 5 more laps, and then at the end of the session, we said best get it just checked out. She got it checked out. They said there was a slight crack in it. So we said, right, let's get it sort of, do you feel you can ride? She said, yeah. So I went to, luckily, HRC Honda, they gave us a lend of their physician to tape it up. So Courtney got taped up, went down to the line, and then she wasn't allowed to ride. So to our amazement, I then had to run up to the doctors, had a bit of a running in with the FIM and doctors, which I've apologised for, but Courtney's down there waiting to go out, and I'm trying to get explanations as to why she's not been allowed out, because this is a sport where they all ride with injuries. But anyway, it turns out that that the CMO's word is official, and he said it's too dangerous because if she broke her collarbone more, and she could get a splinter in an artery and all that. I said, yeah, okay. I mean, that can happen to anyone going out on the line. It's not normal for a rider not to be able to ride if they feel they can ride. We offered to sign a disclaimer for her and me to say we could ride, but yeah, she wasn't allowed to ride. She flew back. She was in Belgium this morning. She's going to see a consultant tomorrow at 10, and we'll see what they'll determine whether she has an operation and plate it, or just let it heal naturally over the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks. So she'll be back ready in time for Rio Scialo, and obviously they lost a round because in France, which is a bummer. But yeah, that this is motocross. It wouldn't be the first time we've lost a championship through injury, and fair credit to the other girls. The pace is good, and yeah, Courtney will have to come back and try and get some race wins, and maybe go for 3rd place or something if it's possible. But yeah, it's a tough sport. She's been injured before, and she's won a championship 2 years ago, tied on points and on a number of wins. So that was hard for Nancy van der Ven, and that's motocross, and you just take the rough with the smooth.
And last one, because I thought Taylor was going to be back at the GP soon. Until he's back to the GPs, would you maybe consider getting a fill-in rider at the GPs? Are you happy just fully focused on Mikhail?
No, we're happy to fully focus on Mikhail, and it's not that. It's it's hard to get riders if you're at the front, and the less of the rider is, the actual more time you need to put into them. So if we had to then, let's just say bring a rider up, say from the UK or whatever.
Well, Jeremy Sydow, his last race with Diga is next week, and after that he's going to have to go back to Ras KTM, I think. He's a good option.
Yeah, I mean, that could be an option. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, we just have to see. It's I'm sure he'll get snapped up anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's not on our cards at the moment. I mean, you've seen how hard in the MXGP, the Kawasaki can't find anyone to replace Febvre. That was a bad bit of news. But yeah, we'll just keep, sort of trying to focus on, getting Mikhail. I mean, obviously, like I say, our budget is a lot smaller than, the two teams that are above us, and we'll try and concentrate to keep the pressure on those guys and pull away from the others. It's not easy, I mean, for sure the Gas team will be coming back strong again shortly, and now we're back in Italy, but yeah, you can only do what you do each week.